Hey everyone, and welcome to another Explainer. To all my focused learners out there who are desperately looking to reclaim their time from those endless, soul-crushing manual digital chores, you are absolutely in the right place today. We're essentially taking a masterclass in automation, and we are going to build a step-by-step workflow right here, together, right now.
Do you ever feel like you're just literally drowning in repetitive tasks? You know the exact feeling I'm talking about. Copying and pasting data from one application over to another, clicking the exact same buttons over and over every single week. It's completely draining, and frankly, it is just not a good use of your brain power. Okay, let's dive into this, because today we're going to learn a framework that puts an end to those time-consuming chores for good.
The real secret to achieving this kind of digital freedom is a platform called Zapier. Now look at that number, over 7,000. That is the number of your favorite apps and tools that Zapier can seamlessly connect. It acts as the ultimate bridge, passing information between apps like Gmail, Slack, Trello, and HubSpot, even if those apps were literally never designed to talk to each other in the first place. So, here is our exact roadmap for this explainer. First, the end of repetitive tasks. Then, step 1, the trigger. Next up, transforming data with Formatter, followed by step 2, connecting the action. And finally, expanding your automated world. All right, let's kick things off. Section 1, the end of repetitive tasks. Meet the Kevin Cookie Company. So the Kevin Cookie Company is losing hours manually copying Google Form feedback into personalized Gmail responses. Imagine that. Someone on their team actually has to sit there, manually read the form submission, copy the email address, and slowly type out a reply. It's a nightmare. To solve this, we're going to build a Zap. Now, a Zap is just a custom automated workflow tailored specifically to your needs that connects different apps. And honestly, the best part about this, it makes automation dead simple. There is absolutely no coding required to build what we're going to build today. You really just need to understand the basic logic. Let's move to and see how this builds. Every successful workflow essentially follows this exact same visual architecture. We start with a trigger to actually catch the incoming data. Then we use a formatter to transform that data into the exact shape we need. And we finish up by connecting the action to actually perform the task we want. Just 3 clear logical steps to save hours of your life. Moving right along. Section 2. Step 1, the trigger, where the journey begins. This right here is the first critical piece of our automation puzzle. You can kind of think of it as the starting line. This is where we capture the incoming data from the outside world, so our automated system knows, hey, it's time to wake up and get to work. By definition, a trigger is the specific event that starts your Zap or automated workflow. In the case of the Kevin Cookie Company, our trigger is a new form response being submitted via Google Forms. We're essentially telling Zapier, hey, just sit there and watch this specific Google form do absolutely nothing until a customer hits submit. But the second that new entry comes in, grab it. Now, when we first connect Google Forms, Zapier actually pulls in some test data just to ensure everything is communicating correctly. Behind the scenes, Zapier reaches into the form and neatly grabs the customer's email address, their specific feedback, and their full name. It categorizes everything perfectly into these distinct little data fields so we can easily use that information later in the process.
And honestly, you've just got to love the test data that came through on this one. Tasty cookies, bruh. I mean, that is exactly the kind of highly professional, nuanced customer feedback we all love to see in business, right? But jokes aside, seeing this quote proves that our trigger successfully caught the real, raw text data exactly as it was entered by the user.
Next up, Section 3, transforming data with Formatter, the bridge. Now we move to a really fascinating intermediate step. See, we have our raw data from the trigger, but it's not quite perfect yet for our final goal. Our trigger caught the full name, Calvin Biggs, but we want our automated email to use a friendly, personalized first-name-only greeting. Enter the Formatter tool. The Formatter is a built-in Zapier tool used to manipulate, format, and transform text data between different apps. You can really think of it as a dynamic bridge between your trigger and your action. It catches the raw data, reshapes it to fit the exact formatting rules you need, and then passes the clean version right along. And this brilliantly illustrates what the Formatter does in real time. We configure it to take the text input, Calvin Biggs, and we basically tell it to split that text using a space as the separator. It logically drops the last name entirely and outputs just the first name, Calvin. It's a tiny technical detail, I know, but it is the absolute critical difference between sounding like a rigid corporate robot and sounding like an actual, authentic human being writing an email. Section 4. Step 2. Connecting the action. Completing the journey. With our data beautifully formatted and totally ready to go, we pivot to the final phase of our step-by-step guide. This is where the transformed data is actually put to work, executing our desired outcome completely automatically in the background. An action is the task that Zapier performs automatically after the trigger fires. Since we've successfully pulled the data from Google Forms and formatted the name, our specific action here is sending a personalized new email message via Gmail. We have set all the dominoes up perfectly, and this action step is where they finally fall.
But wait, how do we guarantee that the automated email goes to the right person with the right message every single time? Well, through dynamic field mapping. Inside Zapier's interface, you just press the / key to insert dynamic values. This is absolutely vital because it prevents us from using fixed, static text that would just repeat the exact same name over and over again. Dynamic mapping allows the automation to adapt on the fly to every unique customer who submits a form.
So, the crucial point is how perfectly these individual pieces snap together to create our final product. It's like a giant puzzle coming together. Notice how these pieces assemble in our Gmail action step. We map the to field directly to the customer's email address we caught from step 1. We map the body greeting to the formatter output we generated, giving us just their first name. And we map the body content to their actual feedback quote. Every single time a new form is submitted, these dynamic values instantly update, drafting a fully personalized email without you ever having to even open Gmail. It's incredible. Section 5. Expanding your automated world beyond the basics. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is realizing that we've successfully built our workflow, but that simple Google Forms to Gmail setup is literally just the tip of the iceberg. Just think about the sheer processing power you can unlock once you grasp this basic framework. For example, instead of a standard email, you can use a built-in tool called AI by Zapier. This acts as a highly intelligent step that actually reads the specific customer feedback, determines if it's positive or negative, and generates a custom contextual reply all on its own. You can also use paths to build conditional logic, webhooks for advanced custom software integrations, or even add custom code and data loops. The tools you have to scale your efficiency are essentially limitless. Which brings us to our final thought, and a question I really want you to seriously think about as we wrap up today. If you could automate just one repetitive task today, using the exact trigger, formatter, and action step-by-step framework we just analyzed, what would you do with your extra time tomorrow? We all have those digital chores that completely drain our energy. Your job now is to identify yours, apply this logic, and start claiming your time back. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.